We're just two girls sharing their experiences, opinions, and insights. So take everything with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm not very approachable to men.
Okay.
And, you know, we're all human and dealing with very similar dilemmas
And sometimes
and
we won't even-
issues.
and sometimes we won't even think that other people go through the same things, and then you will feel, for example, lonely. But in this case, it shows that we are very much alike in many ways.
You do not avoid me when I'm menstruating.
No, what is that behavior?
What is that? Are you a 12-year-old boy? Like, what the heck?
Beauty is very subjective, and it's sad to hear that this person has been taking it with themselves from like school.
Beauty, it's such a cliche. It's such a cliche, but beauty does lie in the eyes of the beholder.
You don't need to have a friend just because it's a friend. You can still want, you will want to want them instead of just having because you're...
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like
I don't know what I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
In your own little world. What are you thinking about? She's like, what I'm gonna do later. I'm just gonna go. You know what I would want
I have
to do?
a million things to do today, actually.
You know what I would, because you have a very beautiful accent. I would love us to like try to speak like American or like British, you know, and see how good we are in accents. Because I'm
really bad.
I'm terrible.
I'm really bad.
And also, by the way,
I can't.
I can't. I do not know.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Whatever. No. Or like
Whatever.
The Californian accent.
Would you like some water?
Water? I want to start implementing
I
it.
don't like a British accent.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
I like an
Why?
Aussie accent. Maybe it's just that I like Chris Hemsworth.
By the way Aussie says no, can you do it?
No.
That was pretty close. No.
No.
How do you do it? I find it so fascinating. No. By the way, I got a comment on TikTok. I don't know if you saw it, Maria. I got a comment and I got a little bit triggered. You know why? Because it was a comment saying that, oh my God, this girl is for sure Swedish. And I'm like, yeah, I'm half Swedish.
I saw it.
You saw it? And then another person commented in Swedish, I think the person wrote, yeah, you can definitely hear that she's Swedish so clear. And I was like, wait, what? I mean, I don't know why I'm offended, but I am a little bit offended. I want to think that I have like a universal accent. But apparently you can of course hear my accent in
Maybe
some
it wasn't
words.
so much just the accent, it was what you were saying as well. That you sounded really Swedish.
No, I think they meant on like accent.
No.
I do think so. I need to recheck the video. I'm gonna like say what is it that they think that I'm saying in Swedish, and I'm not gonna be analyzing
Yeah.
myself. Anyway,
Okay. Did we just start the episode by accident?
yeah, I think so. Okay, hi everyone, who's listening and watching.
Welcome to another episode of Ice Latte Girls with Olivia Constantinides.
And Maria Gojkovicc.
So it's been quite a few episodes now.
Mm-hmm.
We're like 3 months in.
I think we're in 4 months in.
Oh.
4, 8, 12. 2.5. 3. I can only count in Swedish. So it's 3.5.
And in Serbian it's 1, 2, 3.
Jan var 3.
And you?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, did you say 1, 2, 3, or did you say, because I did it 4, 8, 12.
Oh no, I did 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
4, 8, 12.
Chatri. How do you say it?
4.
Chatri. Is that 1?
That's 4.
4. Chatri.
Awesome.
Awesome.
8.
Wait, awesome. Like, whoa, that's awesome.
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 Kind of.
Wow, dope.
I 12.
What that is?
12 is 12.
12. 12. That's in Swedish.
Oh, that makes more, sounds
12,
more
12.
similar.
Yeah.
12.
12. That's a completely different language.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So we're a little detour. We're very deep into the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been receiving some really cool messages and had some reactions that I think it would be nice to talk about today.
Yes, and you, girl, because you are in Cyprus, and at this moment, most of our listeners are in Cyprus also. So you also have like interactions with people in person.
I actually went out recently to like a party, an event. And in one evening, like within an hour, I had 4 of you guys come up to me and give me positive comments about the podcast.
Yeah.
Which felt so unreal. And I recently also, where was it that I was? I was at the supermarket, or I was like, I went for a massage to a spa, and like people knew me from the podcast. They're like, oh my God, you do the podcast. So I've had a lot of face-to-face interactions of people being like, oh, by the way, I listened to Phylactou Girls. So cool.
That
Congrats.
so
Such a cool project, whatever, which is insane to hear.
Yeah.
So if you guys have come up to me, thank you. You made my day. If you haven't, please do.
Yeah, the validation. We want the validation. But honestly, it's nice.
No, but it's, you know, obviously we do this. We're sharing a big part of our lives and our insights with the world. So, you know, when people come up to you and tell you how that's registered with them and how they've processed what you've said or how it's affected them, it's really cool because it kind of creates that connection. It deepens that connection.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I even had an older man come up to me, not in a creepy way, and just be like, by the way, I listened to your podcast.
Wow.
No. And I was like, whoa.
That is so cool, because when we started the podcast, I honestly did not think there will be men listening or watching.
Yeah. And recently, like, one of my friends, my mutual friends with Diana, more of her friend, he texted her and he was like, congrats for coming out of the closet, because I introduced her as my boyfriend.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, he's a listener?
That's so cool though.
It's insane.
Like, you would not expect that.
Yeah, not at all.
And also, by the way, I want to go back to what you said when you were at the party, because I want to add on that you were texting us in the group of Phylactou Girls, and that was for me like so entertaining to like follow. She's like, oh my God, a person came up, and then another person came up, and then like it was like we were watching, like I was watching this like crazy game going on, like betting game, but like in a positive matter, of course. And it was so cool. Like, what? No way! And then we were texting. That was like a really nice experience, even though I was on distance and you were here.
I was sharing with you.
Like I was a part
Sometimes
of that.
I forget to tell you because I'm in the moment and I'm caught
up
and it's on the go. But like that night, because we were texting anyway, I was like, every time someone would come up to me, I would text you. And it was really funny because one girl, I actually know her. She came up to me and she was like, the podcast and it's so cool and congrats. Yeah. And we had a conversation about the podcast. And then she comes up to me and she's like, by the way, I really want to meet Olivia.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Maybe when she's in Cyprus, we can arrange, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, actually, I saw her with Ramon. And she even knew Ramon's name. Yeah. And she's like, I saw her with Ramon at Carnival, but I was really shy to go up to her and she seemed busy and I didn't, it was awkward. And I was like, no, you should have gone up to her. She would have been so happy. She's like, are you sure?
Oh my God, girl, you know, I get this so often. Like, I think I have like a resting, don't approach me face. I think that like when people see me in public, maybe they're like, I feel like I will not be happy to see them. And I can imagine that, because when I'm just like concentrating or just like in my thoughts, I look like this. I don't look really friendly, to be honest.
You don't.
So I am friendly. I don't bite, okay? And speaking of an interaction, I had an interaction and very awkward. I don't know if I even told you this story.
No.
But I was in the mall and I was actually holding stuff to go inside the fitting rooms. And I was trying on the clothes and then I was done. I went out. You know when you put your clothes back, so you don't, the ones that you don't want, and then this girl comes up and said, "Oh, Olivia, wow, I follow you on Instagram and podcast. Like, oh, it's so cool." And that moment when she spoke to me, I realized, "Where the fuck is my phone?" And I was like, "Oh my God!" And I started to panic because I was not holding my phone and I was holding it, and I started to panic. And she was like, giving me like this really compliments, being kind, and in my head, I was like, fuck, where's my phone? And I was like, sorry, but I think I lost my phone. Just give me a moment. Because she was talking to me in my brain. So I was like, damn, she would think that I'm so not interested. But I did say, you know, like, and I found it. I left it together with the clothes, luckily. And then I could go back into the conversation with her. But yes, I am awkward. I feel like I'm socially awkward.
Yeah, but you're really happy when people come up to you, though.
I get very happy.
So FYI, Olivia's really happy when you guys come up to her and speak to her.
Don't be scared, okay?
And it's really funny because I was texting you guys and it was really like, I'm not very approachable to men.
Ah, okay.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be approached.
You have this little bit like this
no,
vibe of like, you feel gracious, you know?
No, not just that. It's not anything I do on purpose, I'm just not in the headspace where I want men to speak to me, and it shows.
Yeah.
It comes across. So I'm really unapproachable, but I was so relieved and so happy that I was approachable to like the actual followers and listeners. And I am. And if you ever see me and you want to come up to me and speak to me, you're more than welcome to. It makes me really happy. I love interacting with you guys. But it was really interesting to me to pinpoint the difference between my unapproachability on a personal level, but my approachability towards our community, our little like podcast community and like my followers and all of that. It's crazy how they can recognize it. And I'm so relieved and happy.
It's actually very relieving though that I like it when men don't approach.
Yeah, I don't want them to approach me.
No, I don't want them to at all approach me, especially not when you're out partying, for example. You have a good time. I'm not
interested.
But when it's like people who come up, like girls or like who compliment something that you do at work, that's different.
Yeah.
And it's really nice feeling.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So we also got some really cool messages. And we've had quite a few people say congratulations and they like it and whatever. But 2 instances really stuck out to me.
Okay, which ones?
One was when one of my friends recently went through a very big personal tragedy and had a miscarriage. And she was going through a lot. And it's something that, you wouldn't wish upon your worst enemy.
No.
And it's a long healing process and all that. And she wasn't very talkative. She wasn't speaking to many people. She needed some time to process. And, a lot of things would trigger her, even movies and series and watching TV. And she called me. Yeah. And I had texted her. I reached out. If you need anything, I'm here, And she calls me one day really randomly, right after our episode was released. And she was like, look, I'm not really in the headspace to speak to people, but I just listened to your episode. And it gave me such peace and it gave me such a distraction.
Wow.
And it really felt nice to switch off for a second. And I love the topics you're discussing. And I wanted to say thank you and congratulations. And
that is beautiful, man.
That made me, I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. That made me so emotional. And it's crazy how something we do out of passion can give a sense of positivity to someone going through something horrible.
Yeah, man.
So that's oh my God.
She's getting emotional here, but that's beautiful.
That's a little update from, receiving some feedback from audience, someone that I know on a personal level as well, but it really touched me.
Yeah.
And I also shared it with you in the moment because I think that's something really, really special. So
it's the kind of situation that you would not expect that someone
at all,
like who goes through something so horrible, to be able to listen, for example, to us talking and find peace or like some sort of like satisfaction with that. Is
another young girl texted me telling me about how lonely she's been feeling lately with school and everything, and how she feels like she's out for coffee with friends. And I was like, oh my God, that is literally the goal.
Yeah, that is a vibe that we definitely
that is what we're looking for. And the fact that, we gave her a little bit of comfort. It's just really special. And I'm so happy we're doing this.
It's honestly exactly what if I take it to my own, I'm in Mallorca, I'm alone. I'm just starting now to make friends after 3 years of like being just with Ramon. You do feel lonely. And my comfort was listening to podcasts. And I felt like I got to know the people I was, like I had friends, but they don't know me. But I was listening to them. And it's cool to think that it's even a possibility that that's what we can do for others too.
It's really humbling.
It's actually really surreal.
Yeah, and it's really humbling. And I just wanted to briefly touch on these things because I wanted to say how grateful I am for the response. And because it's been a while and there's been a lot of reactions, I just wanted to thank everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, thank you everyone who's been reaching out and sharing their thoughts and feedback with us. It's enlightening to see that they actually take it into consideration to even share it with us.
And it's really touching.
Yeah.
So that's really great.
Yeah.
We also received some more messages. Would you want to read out any messages?
Yeah, actually, I have. Because do you know that I screenshot the nice messages and I put them in an album? It is so handy. I've been doing it for years, also for my own Instagram. And it's like a nice reminder to yourself, like when you feel down and you just open up the album and you start to read the messages.
And we actually get very excited.
Yes, man, it's a beautiful thing.
And remember how excited we got when we reached the 1,000 downloads?
Oh yeah, man. That is all really...
We're very new to this, and it's all very new and different, and we've been on social media for a really long time, but this is really different. So it's all so exciting and surreal, and there's so much happening. So
like podcast has been around for a long time abroad, but for example in Cyprus, I only feel like it's the last couple of years that it's been going on. So for us, it's even new for the market here in Cyprus. So it's really cool to see that it's, you know, it's happening for us also.
Actually, I have some, until you find your messages, I have some messages about how people related to some of the stuff we discussed and how similar situations happened to them, and how relatable, you know, you living abroad was, or people commenting on weight, several topics we've touched on, which is insane.
Yeah, man.
But it's also makes sense because all of us at the end of the day go through a lot of the same things. And, you know, we're all human and dealing with very similar dilemmas and
sometimes
issues.
And sometimes we won't even think that other people go through the same things. And then you will feel, for example, lonely. But in this case, it shows that we are very much alike in many ways.
Yeah. And some people texted me that our attitudes are like a breath of fresh air. Because, you know, sometimes you get stuck in a certain toxic circle or environment and you get lost.
Yeah.
In certain attitudes of the people around you. And, you know, even though with social media, everything is more readily available to us, you don't realize that there's a lot of people out there that think the same way you do. And actually, I had this thought recently about how, oh my God, I'm so not unique. Because I scroll through TikTok and all like my deepest, darkest thoughts
you're like, I can relate
are
to that.
like
That's me.
memes.
That's me.
And I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people that experience the same shit.
Yeah, man.
You know? So you really realize that we're all actually really unique and individual, but similar at the same time.
Like we're unique in the same ways. No, we're... I quoted myself like years ago, and I was like, that was a really good quote. I need to remember. I need to get back to that later. Okay, I have one here. As for example, that I just watched your podcast, and it's honestly really rarely that I watch whole episodes on YouTube in general. But I watched your guys, the whole episodes, and I love it. It's a good job, both of you, and can't wait for the next episode.
That is so sweet.
Isn't that so cool?
I also found out that there's some people that literally wait till the release day and listen on the day.
That for me, it is.
Which is also some people I did not expect it from. Yeah. And it's just insane.
Like, do you have, does your friends also listen to your podcast?
Some yes, some no.
Yeah, and family? Family members or
some yes, some no.
Yeah,
I think it's mixed.
Same for me also. Like I don't think my mom watches every episode, but I know she has, for example.
Yeah, I think it's like, the same. Yeah. And Diana watches every episode.
Aww,
and actually, it was really funny because she texted me the other day. She's like, do I not get benefits as your best friend? Can I not get it like 2 days earlier, the episode? Can I not get it when you get it to approve it? I'm like, sorry, no, confidential.
Yes, exactly. You have to wait until
To be completely honest with you, it's a big file and I don't even know how to send it to you. But if you want to sit and listen to it with me while I approve.
I actually tried to download the episode one time on the Google Drive. And said, error, cannot do it.
I think we should stick to our lane and let him do the technical stuff.
It's a good thing we have Black Lemon here. Yeah. By the way, we are like, it's also now in the studio, and they have like completely like organized it. It moved into the new studio, and I see it now decorated. It looks so cool. I want to say it on air also. That's told this to you beforehand. Yeah. But wow. If you have the privilege to come into the Black Lemon studio, that is insane. It's so big, it's so spacious. It has all these like little sections where they do the podcast filmings.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He's eating his cereal over here.
So other than comments, we have also been receiving some dilemmas from the audience.
Yes, that we have.
Which, okay, we are not so qualified to respond professionally.
Don't really take our advice seriously.
Don't take everything we say for granted in general. Yeah. We're just two girls sharing their experiences, opinions, and insights. So take everything with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, honestly. That's a disclaimer.
But that's my advice generally in life. Whatever you see online, even your favorite influencer, any suggestions you see, take everything with a pinch of salt in life and do your own homework.
Yeah.
But having said that, we would like to give our advice since you asked for it.
And we should start with the first dilemma.
Yes. Do you want to read it out?
Yeah, I'm going to read it out now. So, by the way, this dilemma, we also responded to her so we could get more context.
Yes.
That's something I get a little bit annoyed when I listen to dilemmas in other podcasts. It's like, you want to know a little bit more details. So here, this is what we did here. So here it goes. Hi. Me and my boyfriend have been dating for more than 6 months now, but he only ever bought me presents for the bedroom, even though we do all sorts of activities together. How can I see if he's in this relationship for not just to satisfy his needs?
Ooh.
That is a tough one.
And 6 months is quite a while.
I was going to say like 6 months is also like...
But it's also not that long.
Not that long. Like you're still in like the beginning phase. You're still like trying to figure out, but also like 6 months. Yeah, we said I love you.
But keep in mind, 6 months now, it means they also had Women's Day and Valentine's Day.
They had
Christmas, like a lot, Easter.
Yeah.
A lot of big holidays came up in those 6 months.
Mm-hmm. But then...
So it's good to be mindful of the timeline.
Exactly. And then we asked like if she could give us more context. Like, does he pay for like activities, dinners? Like, what is exactly that she expects from him, you know?
Yeah.
And then she said, yes, he pays. Also, he's very polite, sensitive, and committed to the relationship. Every time we meet, it's awesome. I can tell he likes me, but whenever I'm on my period, he's unavailable to meet and also not very responsive to texts in general. As he says, he doesn't like texting all day, which is fine, but it bothers me every time we meet. I have to, I checked his phone a couple of times and I didn't find any chats or pics with other women. So it's nothing like he's cheating. I was like, okay, so... Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay. So to begin with, it's a very personal thing. And people have different love languages.
Yeah.
And people express love in different ways. For some people, it's quality time. For some people, gifts are expensive. Now, with all these holidays having passed by, I would also expect a gift. It doesn't need to be like a Cartier bracelet or a Van Cleef bracelet or a freaking car or a phone or a MacBook or a designer purse. It does not need to be expensive.
Maybe she's like expecting maybe flowers. Like what kind of gift?
First of all, yes, you need to buy flowers, or you can buy a T-shirt, or I don't know. You're good at this stuff as well. You also like simple gifts.
Yeah.
You can buy a book.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about the money.
No, it's about showing for him to show that he has been listening and taking like consideration, notice of what the things that she likes. Because in this case, coming back to the third response that she gave us, she says, because this will give us more clarification of what exactly the situation is going on. We asked her, have you had a conversation with him about it? You know, and she said, yes, well, sort of. I tried to bring up the subject once and he just changed the subject to something else. Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, after all this time together, I don't expect jewelry or something extravagant. But he gets me these tiny, tiny underwear and it feels more like a gift for himself. And that's where the issue comes in, I believe, coming back to...
Yeah, I think, if... It's okay to get your significant other a spicy gift.
Yeah, but if it's
fun,
only
if you want to, it's this stuff is fun, and I'm not going to delve too much into that, but that needs to come along with something more personal as well. Because if your whole relationship is focused around the physical, it's a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
So, you can get her a book, or you can get her, I don't know, like when you go somewhere and you see her favorite chocolate on your way and you buy her your favorite chocolate, that's also a nice gesture. Yeah. Like there's little things you can do in day-to-day life. My favorite thing is when a guy buys me flowers on a random day, not on Women's Day, not on Valentine's Day, not on my birthday, like oh, I'm driving home from work. I saw a flower shop and I stopped by and I got you flowers. That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
And when it's out of the blue.
Yeah.
And gifts do not need to be expensive.
No, but let's take it like in assumption, for example, that this guy is not listening to our podcast. So what shall she do? Like she cannot tell him like I expect flowers, or can she tell him that? Like, what do you think that they see? She like from her perspective now. That's the tricky part, because we can talk about what guys should do, but will those guys listen to us? You know what I mean? Like, how can we women, like, yeah, we have to communicate with them.
To be completely honest with you, I also have certain expectations. But
do you say it?
I don't say it, and maybe I'm also wrong, because I know some women do say it and then they get better treatment. I personally don't like to ask for things, because I feel like if you want to do certain things, you will.
Yeah.
And I don't need to ask you to get me flowers, because then when you get me flowers, I will feel like I asked for it. So it's not
genuine.
Doesn't have the same value. It didn't come from you. It didn't stem from you. I think all men know how to behave when they want to. I think it's not that difficult to get to know your partner and register what they want and what they like.
Yeah, but let's not also forget that some women are like saying no when they mean yes in many things.
That you should not do.
Yeah, and that, for example, is a problem. So, for example, if she now says like, I don't really want them, I'm fine with it, but she in reality she actually really wants.
That's a problem, because you need to be honest.
She needs to be able to communicate to that person. Like, for some, if it really bothers hers, I believe she should sit down and talk. You know, it bothers me that you're only buying me tiny underwear. You know, for when you are gonna have fun. You know, when we both. And
you know, I think the biggest issue is not the gifts and the spicy gifts. I think the biggest issue I recognize in that message is he's not very available on his phone.
Yeah. But the messages also is
the messages,
problematic.
It's a bit problematic. Yeah. He avoids me when I'm menstruating.
That is a red flag. Girl, dump him. That would be my conclusion to all
honestly,
these dilemmas.
The conclusion of that story, I would really question being with that person personally. You do not avoid me when I'm menstruating.
No. What is that behavior? What is that?
Are you a 12-year-old boy? Like, what the heck?
And also, like, I can also imagine in her situation, she will be thinking like, oh, maybe I'm just making a big deal out of it. Maybe he's just like very busy that week. But also, we should trust our intuition.
Yeah, we should. And the fact that she felt the urge to go through his phone,
that says something.
Is very toxic, and it screams red flag.
Yes.
And I understand her need to do that. We've all been there.
Yeah, we have.
But the fact that you felt the need to do that, I think shows a lot about the relationship.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I see a lot of red flags, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't like the guy.
Dump him.
I do not like the guy.
No.
Based on those messages, no. I'm not going to say dump him, but question what you want and what you expect.
Yeah.
And honestly, you know, it's really important in a relationship to be honest about your expectations and ask for what you want at the end of the day. So
to be honest, you don't want to be in a relationship, or maybe you do, where you have doubts, where you get, or at least when you get doubts.
Yeah.
Like that is something I can only realize now when I'm in the healthiest relationship I've ever been, where like
the only healthy relationship.
But it's true. No, so my first relationship was really good.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, but it is. But it's different. I was a teenager. I was a child. But anyway, only now I can see like, okay, I don't walk around and have this like doubts or like trust issues or like, because he doesn't put me in a situation like that. So coming back.
But
to
also
what you said,
even with you, it took you some time because you were used to toxic.
Yes.
It took you some time to get to the place of feeling that safety and that security. And I think sometimes it's really important to sit and reflect with yourself and recognize when you are self-sabotaging and when you are scarred from past traumas and you're being insecure, and when the other person is giving you reasons and you have that gut feeling.
That's what we really need to be able to separate.
And it's hard to differentiate.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of inner work.
Honestly, it does.
And at the end of the day, you really do need to work on you to be ready for something.
Yeah. And in the beginning of the relationship of me and Ramon, for example, oh my God, I mention him so much, but it doesn't matter. He's my life at this moment. I mean,
Wow.
he's my life. I mean, I spent...
He's my life.
You're making back. Okay, it's true. Let's take it like that.
Mm.
No, but girl,
Ramon
do you
and
remember...
Olivia sitting in a tree.
And K-I-S-S-I-N-G. So cheesy, but I love it. He's my life. That sounded like very lonely.
That sounded
also.
deep.
Yeah, very deep. No, but in the beginning, man, you remember me. I was fucking toxic. Like I was the toxic one because I was expecting the toxicity from him. Do you remember? I don't know. I actually asked Ramon if I can share this story. Should I?
Yeah.
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No.
The one in Limassol in the beginning of our relationship. When I called you, I literally went down outside and I called you.
Yeah.
And I was in panic. Like, what should I do? You forgot about it.
I forgot. You have to.
Okay, I'm gonna share it.
Man, it was 3 years ago as well.
It was almost 4 years, 4 years ago.
Whoa.
So this is what happened. Me, Olivia, as a toxic fresh girl who did not really want relationship, but also wanted to, but didn't know how to express it. Anyway, we were at his place. He had just moved into a little studio in Limassol. And so it was new. Everything was new. Like we had just unpacked.
I remembered. Yeah, continue.
Oh my God. I hope my mom is not listening. Mom, if you're listening, please go in 5 minutes. Okay. Tap forward 5 minutes or whatever. So he had just moved in. It was like everything was new. We had not been like, so we were spending a lot of time together. And I opened up his, he was doing something. I don't know what. He was maybe in a call. He was on the balcony. Maybe he's in the shower. He was basically busy. And I don't know what, but I wanted to like look for something. I mean, not sneaking, like snooping around. I was like generally like maybe looking for a charger. I open up his drawer, like next to the bedside drawer, what it's called. And I see a ripped condom. In my head, I'm like, ripped condom? We haven't had, I cannot even say the word out loud. In this apartment, has he been cheating on me? Like, what is going on? I start to freak out, man, because it didn't make sense, you know? Because
you called me.
Yeah, we had obviously already done it. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm a virgin. I mean, we had already been together for months, but it was like...
we have not here.
What?
It was, we have not done this here, and this does not belong to our mutual act.
Exactly. So I freaked out. The moment I was like, I got so freaking like error in my head. I started to panic. You know, when your heart starts to beating fast.
And you called me and you told me, and I was like, there's no explanation.
No,
because I was also toxic.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like putting fuel to the fire. Yeah. I was like, dude, he's fucking cheating on you.
Yeah, but before we go to that part, you know, because we were going to eat dinner or something, but I had to pretend to go down to the car to pick up something because I couldn't look at him. I was getting so mad at him, like fucking cheater, fucking betrayer. We hadn't said I love you or like, do you want to be in a relationship yet? But we were like together. You know, I had told my grandma that we were in a relationship, even though we weren't. You know what I mean? It was serious. Yeah. And I just had to go out to the car. I called you right away. And I told you, Maria, like I found this and this and this. And your response was obviously like, "Oh man, that's really bad. That's really bad. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna do?
You need to confront him. He must be cheating on you. Yeah, you need to find out.
You need to go to Nicosia. You need to leave. Like also like this conversation we were having, I was blocked. So of course, being the person I am, toxic, I went back. I was like ignoring it. I was trying to calm it. Like, what the heck am I going to do?
Oh, I wouldn't have been able to. I would have exploded in that moment. I'd be like, what is this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm like very in the moment. Like
you would do it right. You would do it right away also.
Yeah. But I can't hold it in.
I was also a little bit ashamed because I was like, felt like I was snooping, but I wasn't in my own defense. Anyway, I told Ramon because I obviously couldn't keep it to myself because he could see it on me. He's also like very aware on other people. He's very
I love that.
He's very empathic, old Ramon. So he sees it right away when your mood switches. He senses it. So even if I say like, no, it's okay, nothing, I couldn't mask it, and because I was so annoyed. And I told him, and he was like, huh, what? And then he told me like what the reason was. I'm not going to go into details, but it was just that he ripped it, and then nothing happened in the end. Like, and I remember the moment. So it was a false alarm. But the panic of like feeling like that, like, you know, when you have trust issues that we both have in many ways, that was like, whoa, okay, I need to give this guy a chance because he's obviously, you know, has good intentions. But that was really hard to understand in the beginning, you know?
Yeah, because you have been cheated on. So your first thought is, oh, this guy is also.
Yeah, he was also a mystery man. I didn't know anything about him. Like he came to Cyprus. I didn't know his background. I didn't know his friends. I couldn't really know, in Cyprus we can find out about them, like who I'd be dating or nothing. So that was a different story. Okay, that was my dilemma at that time. But that we already sorted out. So let's go into the next dilemma.
So we got another email with a dilemma from a listener. And it's called My Problem to Exist.
Oh.
Which sounds...
that's the title
heavy.
of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the listener goes on. I feel so insecure with my hooked nose because of the beauty standards set by society that have been shoved down my throat all these years, including my family. I hate my nose so much, and it is so exhausting and so sad to see myself in the mirror and pictures. Should I get plastic surgery? Oh. I have dealt with this since I was oh my God, why am I getting so emotional? I have dealt with this since I was in high school, and honestly, a part of me doesn't want to have a nose job. But at the same time, I feel so uncomfortable every time I feel someone's gaze on my profile. Since the pandemic started, I used the nose mask as a mask to hide myself, but it went from giving me security to insecurity. And to this day, I can't go out without it. I feel hopeless. Man, I got goosebumps.
That is incredibly sad, man.
First of all, I'm really sorry that you have this burden on you.
Yeah.
It's horrible because you mentioned family. It's horrible being belittled for a facial feature that you have that is out of your control. Believe me when I tell you that even when you do fit into the beauty standards, you have insecurities.
Yeah, it does not solve the problem.
I'm happy that this person is aware that it's because of the beauty standards and being surrounded by negative people that, sparked this insecurity. And I'm glad you're hesitant.
Yeah.
Because it's a big decision to do a surgery like that. And you don't sound like you're doing it for yourself.
No.
You sound like you're doing it to comply with the beauty standard people imposed on you. So at the end of the day, do you like your nose?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you're insecure that people are looking at you, why are you so sure they're looking at your nose? And why are you so sure they're looking at your nose in a negative light?
Yeah.
It's because of maybe some comments that were made
when they
to
were
you
younger,
in high school.
Yeah, when people are really mean also in school.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure, I can't be certain, but I'm pretty sure that sometimes when you sit there and you think someone is staring at your nose and judging your nose, that's not the case, that it's in your head.
Yeah.
I will give you a personal example. I got heavily bullied in high school too for my eyebrows.
Okay.
And to this day, I get some hate comments on TikTok about my eyebrows.
Okay. Yeah.
At the time, obviously, they were also bushier because I plucked them a little bit, but I haven't really changed the shape of my eyebrows. Back when I was in high school, thin eyebrows were in fashion, and having bushy eyebrows, and obviously they're an overwhelming feature on your face. I got very heavily bullied. And then I started modeling, and that was the most celebrated feature on my face. And then fluffy brows came into fashion, and fashion is always changing. So it was a feature I got heavily bullied about. I felt very bad for. I wanted to instantly pluck them. Obviously, plucking your eyebrows is a lot easier than, doing surgery. But I never even plucked them. I don't know. I ignored it.
Yeah.
And I faked it till I made it. And then I honestly grew to love it. And I tried so hard to convince myself this is a feature I like. And then eventually I believed it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, sometimes I did have these moments where I felt like people were staring at my eyebrows, or because I also got bullied for being too skinny at the time. Features I got picked on. It's a very natural thought to assume that that's all people see. Yeah. But I can tell you with 100% certainty that people can see so much other beauty in you, and maybe they even find beauty in your nose and in your face as a whole. And I'm sure that they don't just see what you're insecure about. That is just intensified for you because you're insecure about it.
And also in different cultures, different noses are like considered beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like beauty is very subjective. And it's sad to hear that this person has been taking it with themselves from like school, like from what, because kids are ruthless.
They are.
So how can you then change your own narrative and remove that thought? Maybe like therapy or like professionals, because as you said, surgery is a long procedure. It's a tough procedure. It is something you cannot go back from.
Yeah.
So maybe first, like, see, do you really not like your nose because you actually really don't do it? Or is it because of other people's opinions or possible opinions? Because it sounds more like an insecurity, as you said. Like the
and
assumption.
it sounds more like it was sparked by those around you and not yourself. Because to be completely honest with you, no child is born saying, oh, I don't like my legs.
Exactly.
I don't like my nose. I don't like my lips. I don't like, you know, it is imposed on us by beauty standards and by people around us who have been affected by these beauty standards. And at the end of the day, beauty is subjective. Fun fact, I actually... I'm attracted, me and my best friend Diana as well. I know we're attracted to guys with like not traditionally nice noses.
Yeah.
Like to me, like if a guy has that perfect nose or whatever.
Because that you see, like it's until you're surrounded with the right people.
I actually really like a traditionally ugly nose. I don't know
what is considered ugly in this.
And me and Dan actually have an inside joke between us. Like, not to make a joke out of this, but we have an ongoing joke between us being like, do we like that guy? His nose isn't bad enough. Like it's an ongoing joke because we tend to go for men with not traditionally nice noses.
It also gives character, to be honest. Because when you do a nose job, most of them look pretty similar. You know, like they look perfect, you know? And it gives away that uniqueness.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've had insecurities on myself as well. And I've had things I've considered fixing, but I've never gone through with anything because at the end of the day, like it's just a shell. And when you start speaking to someone, they don't sit and stare at your nose or your lips or something else on or your wrinkles. They listen to what you're saying and the energy you're giving. And I think it's so important to focus on the conversation you lead, the energy that comes across, you know, the things that you fully control, that is from within, the work from within, because that is the things that make you attractive in another person's eyes. And I've touched on this before. I've met the most gorgeous girls that nothing on the inside. Nothing. And I've met some traditionally unattractive people that I fell in love with, and not in the sense of romantic. Like I you know, I really like admire them as a person, and I find them so beautiful on a friendly basis, even. Man.
And you know, coming back to like you have not done anything. And I remember when I was younger, I was getting bullied. I don't know if you can call it bullied, but they were saying that when I smile, my gum shows a lot. And as a kid, I was like, okay, that's not nice. I was smiling like this. No, if you see pictures from like school pictures, I do smile like this because I want to cover my gums. And it stayed with me. So maybe the reason why I did lip fillers is so it could go down and cover my gum. But like, you know, like subconsciously I was thinking about it. And it's a little bit sad because maybe in the end I did not really necessarily need it, but it really shows how we take some stuff with us if we don't work on it and let it go.
100%. And at the end of the day, beauty, it's such a cliche. It's such a cliche, but beauty does lie in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
And real beauty does stem from within.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this is just a shell. And I said it in other episodes, and I will say it time and time and time again. None of it matters. And at the end of the day, you know, you see these girls on Instagram, and I've met some of these girls that you think are picture perfect and that got a lot of work done.
But in reality, they're really different from what you see. Like they're very insecure in many ways.
They're very insecure in many ways. And to be completely honest with you, if it's not your nose, it will be something else. Yeah. And if you don't work, you do the work within, there will always be something to be insecure about. And no one will ever like fully fall into the beauty standards and not have any insecurities. Like if you take Bella Hadid, she has insecurities and she's gotten work done and she still has insecurities.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no one is 100% happy with every single feature on their body. And sometimes like a feature I see on you and I may be like, whoa, that's so beautiful. I wish I had that. You may hate about yourself.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, it's all about perspective. And there is no such thing as perfection or like the golden standard.
Yeah.
So, you know, focus on other things.
Yeah.
But I would suggest talking to a therapist. I think in general in life, for all matters, it's really good to have a therapist. I think it helps everyone.
Yeah, it also to take down your thoughts and have a professional just who doesn't know you also to be able to regulate your thoughts and ask the right questions.
And at the end of the day, you don't need to have a problem to go to a therapist. You can just go to just get some perspective and guidance in life and deal with some maybe underlying things that you may not be fully aware of.
And also, by the way, if it is that you find out that you actually really want to do a nurse job, that's also okay.
That's fine.
It's fine. But like, it's sad if you do it for the wrong reasons.
Yes. And at the end, you know, at the end of the day, if you feel insecure and you're not happy and you look at yourself in the mirror and you want to fix it. That's okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, try to fix the underlying issue from within first. And then if you see that it's not fixable and you're really not happy and you really want to look a different way, why not?
Exactly. Since we were talking about comments, I just want to say, like, I saw a quote that I was thinking of. This is a quote that Maria needs to use or say.
Okay.
Because of all the videos that we've been posting on TikTok and Instagram, people get this like image of you maybe and be like, oh, this is how Maria is, or how this is how Olivia is, without actually knowing you. So I have like kind of like the response for you that you can use.
Okay.
So this is how it goes. I'm fine being high maintenance because I'm the one maintaining it.
I use that. I already use that.
It's good, girl.
Yeah.
So that I think is the quote of the week. It's like, own it, you know, like you want high maintenance because I'm the one maintaining it.
Yeah. And you know what? At the end of the day, going back to that first dilemma we had, it's okay to have expectations other people are not okay with. And to be honest, if I'm going to have a partner in life or a friend or anyone in my life that, you know, occupies my time and my energy, because we're all so busy, we're adults, you need to offer me something on some level, emotional, whatever, you know, on an intellectual level, an emotional level, on some level, you need to offer me more than I have on my own.
Yeah.
You need to add value to my life.
You don't want to be a burden, or like you want to feel like you're like a bonus, like you want it. You want to spend time with you.
Our lives are so complete and so happy, and we do things for ourselves. We do whatever we want for ourselves. We do all these activities, all these things. We, you know, we're independent in all aspects. So unless you have something to add value to my life,
then don't come into our lives.
Don't come into it.
No, but honestly, yeah.
And that is such a good motto.
And also another good motto is, for example, like, I don't need you, but I want you.
Yes.
You know? Like, I don't need you in my life.
I don't need anyone.
Exactly. I don't need a man, but I want a man in my life.
I need some of my friends. I really do need them.
But you also, okay. That's the...
I do need some people that I already have in my life.
Okay. Like, I want them. I don't necessarily need. I'm a little bit of a lone wolf, the way I've been establishing myself here, but that's not.
No, but at the end of the day, that is very true. You don't need anyone or anything.
Like you listen, we do need to have people around us. We cannot be isolated. Obviously, I mean, we cannot go too deep in that because that's how it is. But you don't need to have a friend just because it's a friend. You can still want you will want to want them instead of just having because you're
for sure. So
that's the quote of the week, and I think we are like ready to.
Yes, it's been a long one.
Yes.
So see you next week.
Next week on Thursday in the mornings. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we release them in the morning.
Yeah. We should have started the podcast being like, good morning.
Good morning.
Rise and shine.
You know, I'm going to go to the beach now.
Oof. It feels like summer.
Yeah. Summer is here. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everyone.
See
Thanks
you.
for listening. Hej då.
Oh, do widzenia.
Yeah, alltså
Vidimo se sledeće nedelje.
That's in Serbian. I'm going to say, hej då, ha en bra vecka. En bra helg.
We're going to start talking our native languages a bit.
Yeah, cool.
Και θα σας δούμε στο επόμενο. To add some Greek.
Την επόμενη Πέμπτη. Τέλεια Κυπράκο.
Άτε κανεί. Bye.